You're listening to The Pete Sheppard Show.
Into week 13, Gillen hits it. And the return by Marcus Jones. He can fly. Still going. Still going. No flags. Touchdown.
Progress
Patriots.
he's made.
Patriots in field goal range at the moment. Here's one downfield. And caught for the touchdown. Kyle Williams. Football, Dart's going to go. And gets popped on football.
Play of the year, Christian Ellis on Jackson Dummy Dart. Unbelievable ass whipping. All three phases of the game kicked your asses. If I see one comment today about the Giants beating the Patriots in Super Bowl, go ahead. We're about the present day. We don't live in the past on this show, usually. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Pete Sheppard Show here on the Coastal Sports Digital Network. Thanks for checking us out across the video platform. As always, following me on Twitter, on X at pshep326, on YouTube, Kick, Rumble, LinkedIn, Instagram, CSD in Florida, the Odyssey app at SR1029 The Game, SR1029TheGame.com. An absolute butt whipping by the Patriots last night. Very, very impressed for a number of reasons, which I will get to all 500 of them during this show, particularly going up against a Giants team that's played tough over the last few weeks against some good competition. But they got their butts whipped last night right from the get-go. It was absolutely fantastic, and the Patriots could have every reason to come out of that game last night or go into the game knowing they had the bye week, knowing that it was going to be to start slow, knowing it was the bye week, knowing that going up against a 2-10 team, there were a lot of excuses that a lot of teams would have made for starting slow last night. Not them. They came out right from the get-go and just took it to the Giants, had 30 at halftime. Great clock management by Mike Vrabel. Drake May, can't say enough about, without a doubt, 1 or 1A in the MVP race. There's no question about it. And in all three phases of the game, the Patriots just continue to impress. We're going to break it all down for you. Can't say enough about that hit Christian Ellis had. We'll show it to you in case you missed it last night. And Jackson Dart, the Patriots had a 10-0 lead in the first half when that hit happened. And man, Jackson Dart got hit 11 times last night. Son, we'll get to your soccer comments and all that. And I appreciate his toughness. I like Jackson Dart. That guy, he had 4 concussion protocols already. He's lucky he got knocked in the next week after that hit. And it was a clean hit. Everybody knows it. And he knows it. You cannot take that hit. You got to get out of bounds a couple yards before that. There are not running backs and receivers that are going to take that kind of hit at that situation, at that point in the game. You're down 10-0. This is not like you're going for a game-winning touchdown or anything. This is like he got to play smarter than that. You're the franchise quarterback. You got to be smarter than that. But we'll get into that and a whole lot more. Some college football news. We'll hear from Lane Kiffin. Yesterday, heard the entire press conference from Alex Golish, and very impressive. It was about a half hour. It was like a State of the Union address. It just happened to turn on SEC Network around 2 o'clock, and there was Alex Golish in the end. They aired the entire press conference, and then they took a break and came back, and they aired all the questions that he took from the media afterwards. A former USF coach, now head coach of Auburn. We'll hear from Lane Kiffin as well, some of his thoughts about going to LSU. And we're going to hear from Mario Cristobal. We're going to hear Steve Sarkisian pleading his case and all that, taking a shot at the U. Colin Coward's got some interesting takes with his, whoever, I can't remember who his co-host is on the show, but some interesting stuff there about Miami and why they absolutely deserve to be ranked higher than Notre Dame. We'll find out tonight what Hunter Yurachek and his pathetic college football committee, if they're smart, they have Miami up number 10 ahead of Notre Dame, but I'm not expecting that. I expect Miami to still be in the college football playoff poll probably right where they are. More likely than not where they are because we still, they still have to decide Duke of Virginia, allegedly, unless something else happens, which a lot of people are calling for. But the to put Miami in the ACC championship, but it's not going to happen. But they can still get in as an at-large bid. And Steve Sarkisian and his Texas Longhorns still think everybody has a somewhat legitimate argument, but I don't think you can argue, and you'll hear some of the reasons why Miami. You can say it's clearly or not, but there are a lot of reasons. I think it's crystal clear. If you showed me the numbers, took away the U and you took away the ND, and showed me the numbers, I think most of you would agree that the team that had the U numbers deserved to be in. Anyway, we'll get to all that. Lots of other NFL news to talk about as well. Some baseball news. The Mets signed Williams. I don't give a shit. I don't care. He sucked last year for the Yankees, so good luck to the Mets for getting him. Jack says, "Yeah, go Patriots. We are very able to beat any team." Yeah, this team, it's official. They're going to make a deep playoff run. There's no question about it. You can talk to me all you want about the schedule, this, that, and the other thing. You just go back to Carolina beating the Rams, and Patriots hung up, 43 on them or 42? And you just can't take anybody for granted. So and in the NFL, head-to-head does matter, unlike the college football playoff. It does matter. But right now, they're the number one seed. They're 11-2. They're playing their asses off in all three phases of the game, and I am absolutely ecstatic about it. The only bad thing that happened last night was Borregales missed a field goal pretty badly. He hadn't missed one in a long time, but we forgive him. Patriots hung 30 up on the Giants in the first half. Loved the clock management at the end. They weren't stupid enough to go for the fourth down. Anybody out there, hello, McFlies, that want to know how to coach in the NFL, watch how Mike Vrabel coached that game last night in all three phases of the game, and it was absolutely brilliant. Taking it to the Giants, 33-15. We say good morning to Angel Martinez. And Angel, quick pivot to the weather, just absolutely beautiful. It's going to be very breezy down here at Fort Myers today. I'm sure it's going to be that way up in Tampa. But there's one thing. One of the best things about living down here, going on 9 years, is that I love the Gulf the clouds when they move. It's very different from the Northeast, And when the sun's coming up and the clouds are moving the way I'm sorry that 35% of the country is under snowfall right now, but that's your problem. But it's glamorous to watch the sun come up, the clouds like moving regally across the sky. Really, 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 really cool stuff as I get very sentimental. Good morning, Angel. How are you up in Tampa?
Good morning, Pete. I am good. Good morning to Dylan and Jack as well. No, and yes, Michael Jordan is in court because of NASCAR. That's always fun. It's going to be a fun time for him.
Wait, I don't know that story. What happened?
Hijack
a car?
No. It's his race team. Unfortunately, he keeps getting the business because he has a logo up there, the MJ logo up on his car. It's silly nonsense, but he's also pursuing other things as well. So yeah, he's going to be in court, which again, with NASCAR, it's kind of hard sometimes to win some crap, but he's been getting the business for the past couple of years. He's just frustrated. So is his race team. Denny Hamlin as well, who races his car. So it's stuff that's going on. The other thing that's going on this morning, if you guys are trying to listen on the radio, I'm not too sure exactly what's going on. So throughout the show, I'll make sure to find out what's happening there. So if you're hearing music playing for some odd reason, it's just not connecting. I'll just figure that out as Pete and I are going live. It's just one of those things. But yeah, it's going to be another absolute beautiful day here in the Tampa region. We're expected to be 85 degrees before that little minor cold front comes through, and then we're back toward like a normal seasonal temperature.
70s. Yeah, we're about 5 degrees over right now. But again, it's people around the country listening, around the world for that matter, wherever you are. Kazakhstan, hello. Spain, hello. We're all over Europe. We're all over Australia. We're big in Australia.
Yeah.
That's true. We're big in Australia.
Yep, that we are. And the men and women of our fine armed forces, we thank you guys for also listening in the morning. We do appreciate it. So yeah, we are continuously growing, as we like to say around here. We're hoping for big things in 2026.
Yep. You sent me a text, I think, when the Patriots went up 17-0, and you said the Giants should just go away.
Yeah.
I think your quote was to me, your text was to me, the Giants should just go away. They had no chance last night. Absolutely no chance in that game. Zero. And I was wondering myself, are the Patriots going to come out and how are they going to come out? Are they going to because if only I think the second time this year they didn't give up a touchdown to the Giants on their opening drive. Patriots scored first. They had a field goal. But they just dominated in all three phases of the game. It was so well coached, the balance on the offense, the way the defense played. And imagine if the Patriots defense and offensive line were healthy. They had, half of their left side was injured and still had Williams out on the defense, and they played really, really well. Cannot say enough about how this team is so well coached. And they're going to be tough to beat the rest of the season. They're going to be tough to beat the rest of the season. And I know what people they started to become the darlings again of the NFL because of the underdog status. Now you got Giants fans out there all over the place that are all they got is to bring up 2007 and 2011. Yeah, we know you beat them. You beat my team twice. I get it. Congratulations. I get it. I'm not taking anything away from you. But we're not talking about the past. This is now. And the now for you guys, for the Giants, is your franchise quarterback has got to learn to get the hell out of bounds. I don't know how coachable he is or whatever. I don't know if Kafka's going to say something to him but you can't take hits like that 11 times. Was that Dylan says, do the Giants get the number one pick? They don't need it. Truly, I feel like injuries have killed them this year. Saints, Titans need it most. Well, yeah, I mean, they could. It depends on what happens. See how we still got, we still got some games left. We still got 4 games left for most teams. Some have 5. I mean, that we'll find out. It'll play out. But they're going to get probably a top 3 pick. No, we'll see what the Jets. Don't forget the Jets. Don't forget the Jets. The Jets are right there for it too. Jets, Titans, and New Orleans. But we'll see. But man, that hit last night that Christian Ellis put on Jackson Dart, that was the hit of the year, in my opinion. See a quarterback go flying like that, and he knew it. But let's get to the highlights, Angel, shall we? And then I'll get some video as well that will show you. In fact, let's start. It's 3-0 Patriots, Angel. And if we could scroll down on my Twitter to, I should say X, but it said, it's under Patriots. It's say goodbye, Marcus Jones, and here is Joe Buck and Troy Aikman on the call last night on ESPN. Fabulous.
Number 8 defense in the league. Coming into week 13, Gillen hits it, and the return by Marcus Jones. He can fly. Still going. Still going. No flags. Touchdown, Patriots. Number
love it. Absolutely love it. Now, right underneath that, this is the hit. So it's 10-0 Patriots. Let's go to right underneath it. This is not too long after that score. Let me see. About a minute and a half later, this is the Christian Ellis hit on Jackson Dart, who's got to avoid this type of a hit in the future.
Dart's going to go and get popped. On football, Dart's going to go and get popped.
Okay, so after the game, other highlights coming. After the game, Angel, if we could scroll down, it's 2 under the show. Here's Jackson Dart was asked about continuing to take these vicious hits. Again, hit 11 times last night, including that vicious hit that nearly knocked him out of the game.
Oh, come on, knock it off. Here we go.
Sounds like a broken record. Jackson just asking you about the hits, taking them, protecting yourself, things like that. Is there anything different?
No. Look, like, I understand the question, but this is football. Like, I'm gonna get hit if I'm in the pocket or outside the pocket. I feel like I've played this way my whole entire life. This shouldn't be like any shocker to anybody if you've followed along with my career. And we're not playing soccer out here. Like, you're gonna get hit. Things happen.
Okay.
It's part of the game.
Sounds like a broken record.
Not soccer, buddy.
Well, yeah, it's not soccer, but again, you got to be smarter, son. You can't continue to take those type of hits. You got to realize you're the franchise quarterback. And like I said, I'm a Jackson Dart guy from when he was in college. I think he should have been starting from the get-go for the Giants, and I think they got something in this kid. But he's got to be smarter. You cannot take those type of hits. You're not gonna make it. Meanwhile, here is Mike Vrabel on if the team fed off of that hit last night.
I think I certainly did. I think our fans did. I think our team did. And again, that's, it's a weekly reminder to the quarterback, our quarterback. We show him every week. Like, I wouldn't get too cute over there by the sidelines. It happens every week. And so Christian's playing, through the whistle, and as long as the player's in bounds, he's going to try to hit him legally. And then on the kickoff, we take a lot of pride in covering kicks. It was a matchup. They were top 5, and we were, they were number 5, and we were number 6 in kickoff, and I expect us to be in the top 5, and that's what I try to tell our kickoff coverage team. So it was good to see that, the impact that it can make, and turning the ball over as well.
That's Patriot head coach Mike Vrabel, and the best part about that also was Johnson got called. I believe it was Johnson got called for unsportsmanlike conduct for shoving Ellis because he thought it wasn't a clean hit and all that stuff, and it was. And Ellis did the very smart thing. He just, after the hit, got up and just backed away. No retaliation. No, there was no repercussions and no offsetting flags. Instead, it just went against the Giants. 15 more for the Patriots. Tack on 15. And that was that. After the game, Drake May on the Patriots' 10th straight win on ESPN.
What felt good to you tonight?
Yeah, I think just being out here on Monday night in Foxborough, Gillette, being with the fans, being with Zoe, baby. Just the teammates. We've got a great team. Got great coaches. I believe in this team a lot. I think we do some things down the road, but we're taking it one week at a time. Look forward to the bye week.
So close to 300 yards passing, but still not there. What's up with that?
I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about winning. That stuff will come down the road, and we're about winning right now.
What impressed you about the way your defense played tonight?
Yeah, they bring it every week. They keep on making plays. Late in the game when we need stops, they make plays. I used to face them every day in practice. They're tough to handle, and we just got a great group. I enjoy being around these guys. I love these guys, and we're faith-driven, and this team is going to go do some great things.
Drake, you're a second-year guy, and you're hearing chants of MVP. Just what does that mean to you?
Yeah, I think we've been trying to give something for these fans to cheer for, and that's what we've done. 10 in a row. Is that 10 in a row? How many is that? 10 in a row? Yeah, 10 in a row, and we've got some work left to do, but no, just so proud of this team, and these fans have been awesome.
We talked about a pregame. This is something that you dreamed about as a little kid, playing on Monday Night Football. Other than getting the win, obviously that's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
What will you remember? And hopefully this is the first of a long career for you on Monday night. What will you remember most about this game?
I think being these Reds, finally getting a win in these red jerseys, these throwbacks, they're sweet. Finally getting a win in them, and just Monday Night Football. Got to show up on prime time when the lights are bright.
Well, it was great watching you play. Congrats on the win.
Thanks so much. Go Pats.
Yep. All righty. Patriots win more coming up 33-15 over the Giants. Here's more from Drake May on the energy.
Yeah,
from the start.
I think it started with Coach saying no naps. You don't want to come out here and start fast. And we knew this team has been up in a lot of games, and they got good players over there. They have some good talent, and we wanted to try to get on them fast. And Marcus helped us with that. What a return for him, and the kickoff coverage. I think just all phases of the game showed up at different points, and I still think offensively in the second half we got to put some more drives together to put the game out of reach.
All right, Angel, if we could scroll down, you might have to refresh because I just retweeted. It's right under the show. And it's Mike Vrabel in the locker room after the game.
Okay, so fellas, y'all stepped up. Okay, you chose to be aggressive, and you chose to attack. Okay? Ellis, lights out, one clap. Marcus Jones, house call, one clap. Okay, this is going to be a combo platter, left side of the line, okay, stepping up. Yeah. Hold on, Benny and Videri, one clap. Yeah. Good. Okay, that's a hell of a job. Okay, Sean Booty, one clap. Okay, Kyle Williams, one clap. Okay, fellas, I appreciate you, man. You took the message, and you were willing to go and be a champion from front. Okay, we got to keep going, because now they get bigger and bigger. Okay, so they get bigger and bigger. Okay, Jelani, break them down. Proud to have you guys.
Nah, hey, I love the brotherhood in here, and I'll ride with any of y'all any day, all right? So I love you guys and appreciate you guys. Hey, pass on 3. 1, 2, 3. Pass.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, Pete. 1, 2, 3, Angel. Yeah. Anyway, great stuff. Great stuff right there. And the throws that Drake made, a couple of touchdown passes. I mean, both of them, Booty and to the rookie Williams. I mean, you cannot ask for more pristine, precise throws than what Drake made last night. I mean, as usual. And they lead the league in balls in the air over 20 yards. And it's just, it's an amazing thing to watch this kid play like a 7 or 8 year veteran after just not even 2 full years yet. It just goes to show you how much coaching means in the NFL and how much Josh McDaniels and Mike Vrabel mean to this team. I mean, you would never, you watch him and didn't know this was his second year in the league, you would never freaking know it. Another little nugget in this game happened. Abdul Carter was sitting on the bench pregame pouting. I think it's the second game in a row where he got benched. I still don't know why. I'm assuming it's a curfew thing or late for a team meeting or something like that. Whatever it was, he was not out there on the first series, which the Patriots took it right down the field, and Bargallis had a field goal. After the game, Abdul Carter says the message got through to him with his benching.
Was it justified with the benching?
Yeah, I mean, I let my team down today. First 2 drives, I was out. They scored 17 points. I take responsibility for that. I got to be out there. I got to do better.
Do you feel the message got through?
Yeah.
All right. Mike Kafka, the interim head coach of the Giants, was asked how concerning it is that Abdul Carter was benched for the second time in 3 weeks.
How concerning is it now that it's the second time in 3 weeks he's had to be benched in this way?
Yeah, no, it's unfortunate, but you know that's the way we kind of work with it this week.
I mean, Mike, I imagine that when you benched him the first time, you hope that the message would get through. So the fact that this now, 2 weeks later, it's the same exact thing again, or something similar again.
I would just say we have great communication, and he's one of my favorite players on the team, and that was one thing that we talked about, and it was my decision to not play him this really. That was, again, this is one of the things that I decided to do.
Because I said so. That's why. And good for him. Good for Kafka for not, throwing a player under the bus. And, he doesn't have to humiliate him, obviously. Excuse me. Obviously, the reason, and usually stuff but it's the second time in 3 weeks. And a guy like him, you should know better. Here's more about Kafka, further about Abdul Carter.
Well, I talk just like I talk with Abdul. I talk with all our players, and I talked with Abdul about this week, and decided to not play him for the first 2 series.
But all your being on time still a problem. Like, has that been a constant problem?
It's just this was just strictly my decision to not play him this week. Early in the game, and when he came back in the game, you saw the kind of impact he had and the player that this guy is. And this is a kid that I support this kid highly. And for any young player that we have on the roster, whether it's Abdul or any rookie or young player, we're going to make sure we take them under our wing and continue to develop these guys because they're important to us. They're important to me. And Abdul's no different, just like Jackson, just like, young players like Tracy and DA, all these guys that are stepping up in big-time major roles. These are the guys that we're continuing to develop, continuing to grow, continuing to be pros. And the standards that we have in our program are sky high, and everyone's going to upheld to them. But that was my decision only. Anything else outside of it is going to be kept in house.
Okay. All right, Brian Burns, one of the Giants linebackers, also talked about Abdul Carter being benched in the first quarter.
Brian, I know you mentioned that you think the message got through to Abdul. He's not the only rookie on this team, but he is the only one that's been benched now twice in the last 3 weeks. So. I guess, big picture question, but why? Why do you think this keeps happening as one of the leaders on the team, someone who gets to know him and sees him quite often, and certainly more than we do?
I think it's just an honest mistake, He's human. He makes mistakes.
at the end of the day, he does have to be a pro, and he does have to, you know, take accountability, which he did for what happened. But I'm just trying to help him be the best he can and try to help him through his rookie campaign. That's all.
All right, there's more from Brian Burns, was asked if the message is getting through to the rookie Abdul Carter.
I think the message is getting through to him. I mean, the second time in 3 weeks when that happens, makes you kind of, you know, maybe it's not getting through. There's a different way to go about it.
I think he got through. I think he's just an honest mistake.
All right. I don't know. Maybe I missed it. I'm still trying to figure out what happened. I'm going to assume it was a team meeting. Maybe it's out there. I tried fishing around as to why. Didn't see. Haven't heard from anybody. Haven't seen as to why. It seems like, but it's a minor infraction. Second time in 3 weeks. It's either late to a team meeting or didn't come to the. I don't know. It's probably something very minor, but it's something that, you know, as a rookie, and he's a very good one. You know, you got to discipline. You got to have respect. Everybody else on the team is showing up for meetings. I know you're 2-10 now and 2-11, whatever, but it is what it is. You cannot. You got to show up to meetings. You got to be professional, and otherwise you're going to suffer the consequences. And kudos to Kafka for doing it, for mentioning him. Anyway. And he is a very good player. There's no getting around it. There is no getting around it. Speaking of very good players, again, just a couple of more highlights here, and then we'll move on for the Patriots whipping over the New York Giants. The 2 touchdown passes, or 2 of like this one to Booty.
Here's one to the end zone, and Kayshon Booty.
That put the Patriots up 17-0. It was 17-7, and Kyle Williams on this beautiful grab.
Progress he's made. Patriots in field goal range at the moment. Here's one downfield, and caught for the touchdown. Kyle Williams.
Outstanding. Just absolutely picture perfect throw from Drake May. To the rookie, right in the breadbasket. And the Booty one was almost as impressive. It's just amazing the poise on this kid, what he has done in such a short period of time. All right, let's see. Coming up later today at 8:05, Bill Burt from the Eagle Tribune, who was at the game last night, he's probably going on about 3 hours sleep, will join me at 8:05. We'll have more on this. What you got there, Angel?
Let's not forget this.
I told you. Thank you. Now, this is something me and my chums last night, my buddies Dave, Brian, Kurt, Andy, and Jim, all watching the game together. Little boys' night over my friends Dave and Marie's house. Great food, by the way. Unbelievable sausage and peppers and onions, pizza, wings. Antipasto, potato salad, just a typical, night for us. And we all agreed. I've seen some botched kicks, in my life. I have never seen this. I have never seen this at all. This is maybe not as quite as humiliating as butt fumble back in 2010 with the Jets on Thanksgiving night, but this is awfully close. And the only thing this goes down statistically as is a sack. But check this out. In case you missed it.
7-yard try now by Younghoe Koo, and he stumbled. Gillen gets swallowed up. Patriots ball.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
7-yard try now.
First of all, that was like me on a wedge shot and hitting way behind the ball, and the ball going 2 feet. He doesn't even hit the ball. He hits, I don't know how he didn't dislocate his knee or get hurt. He never hits the ball. I couldn't believe it. At first we're going, oh my God, it's a fake. And why not? They got nothing to lose. And then you realize, let's play it again, Angel, if you can. Thank you.
Let me rewind it back.
7-yard try now by Younghoe Koo, and he stumbled. Gillen gets swallowed up. Patriots ball.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
I know I haven't. If Troy Aikman hasn't, I know I haven't. You've seen botched kicks before, not like this. Wow. By the way, the Patriots led 30-7 at halftime, marking the first time since Week 17 of 2009, that's 16 years ago, that the Giants allowed 30 points in the first half. And by the way, Jones became the fourth player in Patriots history to return 2 punts for touchdowns in a single season, joining Troy Brown in 2001, Irving Fryer in 1985, and Mike Haynes, the great Mike Haynes, back in 1976. Again, Abdul Carter didn't play in the first quarter for what Coach Mike Kafka. What if the Hurricane were named Kafka versus Ditka? Mike Kafka was the coach's decision, but not disciplinary. And you heard Carter's stuff. So if you bench him but say it's not disciplinary, then what is it? Now, of course it's disciplinary. You could say it's disciplinary. We're not all stupid. It was definitely disciplinary. It's the second time the number 3 overall pick in the draft was benched at the start of a game. He previously held out of the first series of the Giants' November 16th loss to Green Bay. Then you had Young-Ho Kim, who's had one of the most crazy careers for any kicker in the NFL. He has had some monster kicks in his life for whatever team he's on. That's back to the San Diego Chargers, the Falcons, the Giants, and a bunch of other teams. He seems to be on a different team every week. But he's mostly known for his misses in clutch situations. And that last night, that 47-yard attempt by Young-Ho Kim gets his cleat stuck in the turf, never got off the kick. Jamie Gillen, poor guy, tried to get up and run, but was whacked. Scored as a 13-yard sack by Jeremiah Farms. Then Gunnar Olszewski, who used to be with the Patriots, also fumbled on the kickoff return late in the first half after being sandwiched on a tackle by Mapu and Ellis. And the Patriots recovered out of the Giants' 27, eventually added Andy Borregales' second field goal of the game. And then Olszewski was ruled out after taking that hit and concussion protocol as well. Running back Terrell Jennings for the Patriots left in the first quarter with a head injury. He didn't return. And linebacker Jack Gibbons was shaken up in the third. Again, the Patriots are off for 13 days now. They will host, or 12 days after today, they will host Buffalo on December 14th. By the way, before I forget, happy heavenly birthday to my mama, Mama Lucia up in heaven. Happy birthday, Mom. Hope everything is going well up there with Papa Pete. Just wanted to get that in as well. Anywho, all right, Angel, let's get probably one of our only breaks we're going to get in today. Actually, you know what? Let me keep going here. Let me keep going for a little bit and play some more NFL sound for you. And then we got some video as far as college football stuff goes with the College Football Playoff Committee. Go ahead, Angel. What?
Also, give me a second just in case. But we do have, which he's probably thoroughly disgusted with the gameplay of last night. Officer Shawnee is on hold, just to let you know, but he's probably disgusted from last night's play.
Oh, I'm sure he is. But you know what? It was that game. You could tell that game was going to be over in the first quarter. It was 17-0. Even before it was set, you just get that feeling. But if he's on the line, we'll have him on for a little bit, for a couple of minutes here, before we go on to a break, and then come back with more NFL and lots of college football video to show you as well. But Deputy Young Officer Sean joining us again this morning, and one of the biggest Giants fans that I know. He lives, eats, and breathes. But that was a butt whipping, and they played tough against some competition the last few weeks. But last night they got whipped. Sean, how are you, buddy? How you feeling?
I'm doing good. I mean, I'm not surprised. This is the usual Giants football. This is like the team we knew from last year. So good news is it only took us 13 weeks to get blown out. So progress. It's not every week. But I mean, I think one of the most Giants things I've seen happen. It never fails. Something odd like that happens to the Giants. Whether it's somehow field goal kickers like the Detroit kicker kicking a career long against the Giants to win the game, it never fails. And then our kicker just doing the dumbest thing I think I've ever seen.
Well, I've never seen anything like it. Troy Aikman had never seen anything like it. You know, I'm older than you. I've seen my share of crazy things in the NFL. I have never seen that. I told you, I looked at me on the golf course. Mishitting a wedge and the ball going 2 feet, but he didn't even hit the ball. I mean, I'm surprised he
It's
didn't get hurt.
crazy. I'm just like, and then I saw. I'm like, wait, is this a? Well, I'm like, is this a fake? What just happened? Were they just trying to? I'm like, that is like how the Giants season has gone in one play. Like, you drive down the field, you get in field goal range, and then it just turns to utter,
Well,
utter shit. I don't know. I mean,
you got to be concerned. Your quarterback has got to pull up there. There are receivers and running backs.
I mean, I was mad at that hit at first. I'm not gonna lie. I was mad when I saw that hit. I thought it was a cheap shot by Ellis, and then I'm watching the replay and Dart's not running out of bounds. I'm like, okay. I don't blame Taylor Johnson for stepping up to his quarterback, for defending his quarterback. He's doing that's what I expect him to do. He went out and defended his quarterback.
But even more impressive
on our punt returner, it should have been a penalty. That was clear helmet to helmet. It should have been a penalty on him. He concussed our kick returner.
Well, he used to be my kick returner too, and he sucked with us, and now he's sucking with you.
He's not that good. But that was a very questionable hit that probably could have been a penalty.
Yeah, possibly.
I think what made Giants fans
I think
mad right now is the fact that hit on Jackson Dart by Ellis, that not even a flag was thrown. Now, I get it was a clean hit, but if that is any other quarterback like Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen, the penalty automatically comes out for roughing the passer.
Yeah, you might be right depending on the situation, but this is why stuff has to be overturned. And I don't think that would have been over. I don't think that. I mean, it was clearly he was inbounds.
Oh, yeah.
You can't do that. You can't. I mean, he's just got to realize he's the franchise quarterback. You got to take 2 steps, to take a half a yard, and just go out yourself. You cannot afford to take those type of hits. And he can talk all he wants about not playing soccer and everything else. You got to be smarter than that, and they got to coach him up that way. You cannot do that.
I agree. I think the problem comes down to is, well, as I said the same thing. Abdul Carter is Brian Daboll wasn't doing what he was supposed to. If he's getting benched for missing team meetings, apparently there's no way this is a first. I guarantee you he was doing this.
I don't know if it's a team. I'm going to assume it. I'm going to assume it's a team meeting. I don't know if it's but it was. Then you had Kafka say, "Well, it wasn't disciplinary." Well, of course it was disciplinary. Otherwise, what else could it be?
He's sitting on the bench.
Yeah.
I mean, either way, this shows the fault of Brian Daboll. What was actually going on? I mean, we'll see it obviously in the Hard Knocks off seasons once they air. I think it airs in the next couple of days.
Yeah.
But the Daboll is as you can see, now becoming more of a problem factor. Is if it's found with Abdul Carter to miss meetings or fall asleep during a team meeting, there's a problem within the organization. Daboll seems to be at the head of it now.
Well,
I don't want him fired. I don't know why Giants fans still want him fired. He's built a great draft class. I give him credit where credit's due, but that Giants secondary was god awful.
Well,
it's like it wasn't even the fact that they weren't even tackling well. It was the fact that they were leaving more wide receivers open. Every time I saw him throw a pass, there was nobody nearby him. I'm like, where is everybody? Did they forget to show up for the game?
Yeah, well, you got to credit the Patriots defense as well, and they came out. There's a lot of reasons.
I got no issues with the Patriots defense. I do have a question on that one touchdown though, because the receiver was the rookie wide receiver. Williams or something.
Yeah.
It looked like his knee went down.
I saw the still shot. Sean, Sean, damn it! Shut up for a second. I've seen the still shots frame by frame, and it was a catch. I've seen it. I think I tweeted them out. I've seen the still shots frame by frame. It was a legitimate catch. It was legitimate. I understand because I thought the same thing. I thought the same thing you did before it happened. But all right, buddy, I gotta run. Thanks, my man. You guys
have a good one.
All right. Shut the fuck up sometimes, for Christ's sake. I love that kid. I love him to death. But oh man, sometimes
it's because he gets fired up.
I've been doing this for 9 years. All the shows I've been on when I was, I know the drill. But I like to have more of a back and forth. But he just if I speak, it's like he took a pill to block my voice out, which maybe isn't a bad. Anyway, all right. Let's take. Let me move on here. Let's go do a couple of our NFL from yesterday in the locker room. Then we'll take a break, and then we'll come back for some college football news. All right. Here's an interesting take. Here is Ben Johnson for the Bears head coach on free hot dogs for taking off his shirt post-game.
I guess my 2-year-old was watching the TV screen back at home, and she's like, no shirt, no shirt. She just pointed at the screen, no shirt, no shirt. And my wife had no idea what was going on, so that's really about how that went. I think anytime you get a chance to feed a city, you want to do it. So, man of the people.
Absolutely fantastic. Here's head coach Kevin Stefanski of the Browns, who absolutely blew that game, and I cannot stress enough. And far be it from me, because we saw Shedeur Sanders in the opening game where he had no, he's just thrown in there. He had no reps with the ones. And then we see him on Sunday, and I thought he looked overall pretty damn good. That he was not put in a good position by his head coach at all. Those stupid, idiotic 4th and 1s that he went for, and on several of them, when Shedeur Sanders wasn't even there, Wildcat snap right up the gut for 1 and 2 yard losses. It was horrible. That game was not it. If anybody blames Shedeur Sanders for that game, then you're not watching. You either didn't watch it, or you're hating just to hate. But he was not put in any position at all to succeed for most of that game, because Stefanski coached like a jackass. And but he says he's looking forward to the constant improvement of Shedeur Sanders. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, Shedeur had some really good moments in that football game.
You
There are
didn't.
things that he wants back that we're coaching up right now that he can improve upon. But bottom line is we have to continue to put our players in position to succeed. For the young quarterback, you only get better with more turns at this thing in these games, as you see more coverages, as you see more defenses, and as you prepare versus different defenses. So just looking forward to that constant improvement with Shedeur and for all of our young players.
I don't know. That's a crock of crap to me. I know he's a 2-time coach of the year. I get that. He's had his moments, but he did not coach well. He cost the team that game. You did, head coach. You did. The way, he played San Fran pretty tough in that one. But you put your quarterback in a situation where he had no chance. Ridiculous. I don't get it. But it's the Browns. Jacksonville head coach Liam Cohen on contributing factors to recent success.
I mean, I think ultimately you always want to, you do want a team to be essentially player-led, right? And to have leadership within in terms of how you structure the day-to-day, the scheduling, the building, the operation, all that, right? And you want the players, though, at some point to kind of take it over, and you're still in that position, but allowing them to have that freedom to lead and to be themselves and to let their personalities, continue to show as well.
All right. We'll have more. Mia O'Brien from ESPN Radio up in the Jacksonville area. She will join us tomorrow at 9 o'clock. We'll have more on the Jaguars. We'll also have more on situation in Florida and Florida State and all that stuff, and the college football playoff and that kind of thing. The Minnesota Vikings are in deep doo-doo. Head coach Kevin O'Connell with an update on J.J. McCarthy.
He's symptom-free, and now the last phase, I believe, of the protocol is just he needs to just have a full practice day, and that should come on Wednesday. So like I told you guys, I think yesterday, expecting that, barring any unforeseen changes to where he's at today, and hopefully he can have I think just having that Wednesday will allow him to have a normal full week and likely be able to go in as our starter on Sunday.
All right, and again with J.J. McCarthy, and I think people need to pump the brakes a little bit on ripping this kid a new one. He's a rookie. He didn't get to play last year. This is his rookie year, so I don't know what you're expecting. I don't know what Vikings fans are expecting, but he's playing like a rookie. Now, the injury stuff is that's not frightening, but it's concerning if you're a Vikings fan. But we do this all the time, and you heard it with Shedeur Sanders after the one game a couple of weeks ago. You hear it too much with rookie quarterbacks. It's like people want instant gratification. I don't know what you people are thinking. The rookie quarterbacks, with very, very few exceptions, like Andrew Luck and Dan Marino, I always bring them up back in the day. Very few exceptions to rookie quarterbacks. And he is a rookie, despite him being on the team the year before. He didn't play. This is his rookie season. You got to cut him a little latitude. Now maybe he ends up sucking badly for his career or when he gets back in there. but I think you got to cut him a little bit of slack for a rookie quarterback because that's what he is. Now, the other part of though is this: Adam Thielen is asked for his release, and the Minnesota Vikings granted his wish.
We waived Adam Thielen. I know Kwesi addressed the kind of the background on that and what was behind the move. So I won't add much to that, but what I will say is just how much I appreciate Adam, what he means to me, the organization, me personally. I think Adam Thielen is a special person and a special player that has meant a lot to not only this organization but the career he's had, and I just wish him nothing but the best, over these final few weeks of the year. And it sounds like that, might be the final few weeks of his career, and we wanted to make sure that, after some dialogue and things that we accommodated that.
Come to daddy, Adam. Come to daddy. I will absolutely take him. And I know somebody on a winning team is going to take him where he doesn't have to be the man or anything else. He's another one of those guys. I know the Patriots right now at receiver look great and all that stuff. You can never, ever in the NFL have enough depth. I would take Adam Thielen on this team in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. And I bet a lot of other teams would as well, except for the Eagles, because then A.J. Brown would be more upset. May not get his touches. All right, Angel, let's do a quick break. And then when we come back, we got some college football news to get to as well. Phil Castanetti, Sports World in Saugus, Mass. is New England's place to buy or sell the finest in sports memorabilia. For over 35 years, Sports World has offered the finest in sports collectibles. So get on down there to Phil Castanetti, Sports World, 184 Broadway in Saugus. Call 781-233-7222 for more information. Sports World in Saugus, be there. And for the best articles and audio, there's only one source that provides everything you need 365 days a year to satisfy your sports crave. It's Total Sports Prep. Staff combing through the best articles and audio so you don't have to. Sports and non-sports kicker stories will leave you laughing all day long. To get your free trial of Total Sports Prep, contact them, info@sportsbroadcastingcoach.com, info@sportsbroadcastingcoach.com. Total Sports Prep, the name says it all. All right. Quick break. When we're back, college football news. We'll hear from Mario Cristobal. We'll hear from Lane Kiffin. We'll hear from Steve Sarkisian, part of the Pete Sheppard Show here on the Coastal Sports Digital Network.
Hi, folks. This is Gerard Moynihan of Moynihan Lumber, and I would like you to know that our company has been selling Anderson windows for over 60 years. See the complete line of Anderson windows at any of our 3 locations in North Reading, Beverly, or in Plastown, New Hampshire, or at MoynihanLumber.com.
Hey everybody, it's Pete Sheppard from the Coastal Sports Network. Want to tell you about my good friend Lou DiMuzio and his company. Lou is the president and founder of Ace Technology Advisors. They're big-time tech specialists. At ATA, they're able to craft, implement, and manage the best and most appropriate solution for your business. They leverage their industry-leading experience and their portfolio of technology partners to improve your best practices and infrastructure. So you can get a hold of them at 888-599-4223. That's 888-599-4223. Check them out on their webpage, www.acetechadvisors.com. That's www.acetechadvisors.com. Or you can email them, sales@acetechadvisors.com. Check out my friend Lou DiMuzio and Ace Technology Advisors.
Right now, our country feels divided, but there's a place where people are coming together.
I gotta tell you, I was nervous to talk to someone so different than me.
Me too, but I'm glad we are.
Love Has No Labels and One Small Step are helping people with different political views, beliefs, and life experiences come together through conversation, and it feels good.
Wow, your story is so...
Interesting?
Yeah.
When people actually sit down, talk, and listen to one another, they can break down boundaries and connect as human beings. At lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep, you can listen to amazing, life-changing conversations and find simple tools to start a conversation of your own.
I know one thing. This conversation gives me hope.
It gives me a lot of hope, too.
Take a step toward bringing our country and your community together by having the courage to start a conversation at lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep. A message from StoryCorps, Love Has No Labels, and the Ad Council.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s. Why should saving for retirement be any different? I mean, they go back to college, learn new instruments, start skateboarding.
Whoa!
Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. With aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a 3-minute chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach from AARP. You'll get personalized recommendations based on your input that are easy to understand and work with your lifestyle. It's quick, easy, and free. Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back.
Gnarly move, Dad.
Thanks, sweetie.
So wherever you are in your retirement savings journey, head to aceyourretirement.org and start chatting with Avo today. That's aceyourretirement.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad, just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart, which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces, just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Don't spaz out because your team lost. Let Pete do it for you. Now, back to the Pete Sheppard Show.
Into week 13, Gillen hits it. And the return by Marcus Jones. He can fly. Still going. Still going. No flags. Touchdown, Patriots. Here's one to the end zone, and Kayshon Boutte.
Progress he's made.
Patriots in field goal range at the moment. Here's one downfield and caught for the touchdown. Kyle Williams.
Oh, humanity. The Patriots are back in a big way, and it's starting to piss off everybody else who were fans of this underdog team until now. And now all the haters are coming out again, and we love it. As we Patriot fans have always said, you hate us because you ain't us. And here they are again. Not ain't us, but ain't us. Yes, it is absolutely fantastic. Taking care of business, exactly what they did last night. And I'm telling you, my favorite play of the game, besides the obvious touchdown passes on offense that were beautiful by Drake May, was the poise, not only of the quarterback of Drake May, but by Christian Ellis after that awesome hit he had on Jackson Dart, which was illegal. Him backing off, Johnson protecting his quarterback, as young Sean just said, and rightly so. I understand it. But the fact that Ellis backed off and did not retaliate, I think, speaks volumes that should be talked about a lot more on the national media today, about backing off after that hit, not trying to start a fight, not being stupid, because it would have taken away from the hit if they had been offsetting penalties. But nevertheless, they fed off that. Patriots win 33-15. All right, Angel, before we get to Bill Burke coming up in just a little bit, I want to start, and it is 2 under the show. Yesterday, Not only does it's from Colin Cowherd show. We're not going to play this whole thing. Just I'll tell you when to stop it. It's right there. So not only does Miami, he brings it up. Colin Cowherd brings it up with Jason McIntyre on the Cowherd show. You're going to hear from Myra Cristobal here as well. Then we'll play Steve Sarkisian. And then we'll play Lane Kiffin.
Here we go. Lot of debate. Miami Hurricanes, they whooped up on Pitt, so obviously, I mean, Colin said so. Hey, that's a great win over Pitt with those beautiful throwback unis. Head coach Mario Cristobal lobbying hard for his team to get in the playoff.
Everybody wanted to see how Miami would do in the cold weather on the road against a top 25 team, and I think we answered those questions very clearly. So at the end of the day, it's not only do we pass the eye test, we pass the field test, right? Especially as it relates to playing this brand of football down the stretch and in head-to-head competition versus others that are being judged in the same little pool that we are as well. Plus, we're getting healthy.
Yeah. So I watched this game, and I thought it was going to be close. And after this game, you do a little homework. So think of this. Miami won head-to-head.
Okay, timeout. That needs context.
No, let me finish.
Okay.
No. It still matters. Even in the NFL, the number one tiebreaker is head-to-head. Now, September football doesn't mean as much in college or the NFL that it did 5 years ago. September doesn't mean what it used to in college football. It's never meant anything in the NFL. But head-to-head matters. Miami won. They had 4 common opponents. In 3 of 4, Miami beat the team worse than Notre Dame did. Okay, so in 3 of 4, Miami has the better total defense and scoring defense. Miami has the better passing offense, yards per game, total touchdowns. And I thought it was a legitimate I thought they would go here, cold weather, win, and be ugly. They were great. So they blew out North Carolina State 34, Pitt by 31, Stanford by 35, Syracuse by 28. I got to tell you, when this game was over, my take was, okay, we got to be fair on this. Head-to-head, you got to contextualize it because it was in Miami. But you know what? Sometimes that's the reality of the schedule. You don't get every game, big game at home. If they did, USC would be elite, right? Sometimes, I mean, this year, Texas A&M doesn't play Bama, Georgia, Oklahoma, or Ole Miss. Schedules matter. Miami got a break.
And one game, the common opponent that Notre Dame outdid Miami was that debacle against Syracuse, and Syracuse started a lacrosse player at quarterback in that game. So, I mean, just stop it. Before I give you all they did right there, Jason McIntyre and Colin Cowherd, was reiterating stuff I've been saying for the last few weeks. All right, let's go to Steve Sarkisian and hear him, and he takes a cheap shot at Miami, and then I'll tell you why he's full of crap, too. He's a head coach of Texas, by the way.
We've played 5 top 10 ranked teams, and we've beaten 3 of them. There's teams that are ranked in front of us that haven't played any top 10 ranked teams. And so my point to everybody is this about what your record is at the end, or is this about beating quality teams and showing how good of a team you really are by beating quality teams on the field? Or is it don't play good teams, put up a bunch of yards, put up a bunch of points, and make it look good? You know, throw fade route touchdowns with 38 seconds to go when you're ahead 31-7, so that the score looks better. So is the committee really watching the games, or are they just looking at a stat sheet at the end of the game to say, oh, well, they won by this many points, they must have played really good?
Okay, Mr. Sarkisian, you can say, and part of what you said, a lot of what you said is accurate. But it's not Miami's fault. I like I said, all these teams that feel they need to score big at the end of games while the game is well in hand. And it's not just Miami. Notre Dame has done it. Your Longhorns have done it. You also lost to the Gators in Florida, as predicted by me about whatever it was, 7 or 8 weeks ago. You lost to the Gators in Florida. You got to factor all of that in. You're not getting in. You're not getting in with 3 losses. I'm sorry. You're not getting in. And if Alabama, and I think Georgia's going to beat them finally. I think Georgia's going to beat them. Alabama loses the SEC championship game coming up on Saturday at 4 o'clock in Atlanta. Alabama could get bumped out. They could get bumped out too. So if you're a Miami fan, you're rooting for Georgia. Now look, tonight when it happens, I still think Miami is going to be in the playoff, because they haven't played the conference championship games yet. And it's going to be interesting to see where they place Mississippi because of the Lane Kiffin departure to LSU. But Steve Sarkisian, look, the committee is the one that is telling teams to run up the score. They don't use that word, or you don't use those words specifically, but you can read between the lines. What does the eye test tell you? I don't know why Miami or any other team needs to run up the score. First of all, God forbid somebody gets hurt when you're up by 20 and you feel you have to win by 27 instead of being in victory formation again. Once again, the committee does not take safety into consideration with some of these rules like the eye test and the sexiness of wins. And they claim that doesn't matter, but it clearly does. It clearly does. And it's could be harmful to the players who feel like they need the number ones need to be in there to run up the score when it's not necessary, when they should be in victory formation. I mean, that's a bad look for the committee. And it is absolutely, this is the worst I have ever seen it. We used to talk about before about how blowouts, in certain eras in the BCS era and everything else. Blowouts matter for certain teams. They don't matter for other teams. Like I said, Indiana went to Penn State and should have lost that game. They squeak out a win. They don't drop. Texas A&M, all right, drops a couple. They lose to Texas. The Longhorns lost. You lost to Florida. Okay, you lost to Florida. Alabama lost to Florida State. This all has to factor in. Josh says, "What's up with the necklace Dart was wearing?" Yeah, well, this morning on SportsCenter, they do a little fashion police thing. Yeah, he looked like he's coming out of a GQ magazine, right up until he almost ended up in the hospital last night because he's too stupid to duck out of bounds and got hit 11 times last night, which is not all his fault. But all right, now, so you heard from my crystal ball, Steve Sarkisian. Let's scroll down a little bit, Angel, a ways. And let's, not a ways, but under awful announcing, here is a little bit of here's Lane Kiffin yesterday, his introductory press conference at LSU.
I'm wondering if there are things that you can share with your conversations with your mentors and whomever else you sought out to make this decision. What were some of the things that they shared with you that sort of helped sway you one way or the other?
Yeah, I think that, it was a really difficult decision. And when you're in those difficult decisions and you're torn, very torn, back and forth, and there's multiple options, there were really, 4 different places, that we had to think about in this. And I just talked to them, and then it really was apparent I felt like everybody that I talked to outside of the state that I was in all basically said the same thing, okay? They all said, man, you are going to regret it if you don't take the shot and you don't go to LSU. It's the best job in America, it's the best resources, and to win it.
I'm wondering if there are
Lane
things that you can
Kiffin,
share.
and I watched a lot of this press conference yesterday, as I did with Alex Golish, who was brilliant. We're thinking where he came from in Russia, and he told all the stories. Excuse me. And then proceeded to speak about a half an hour and said everything the Auburn fans wanted to say. We'll get to that in a second. But Lane Kiffin, he went on to say about how he was not influenced by money for himself. He was influenced by how much money that he was going to get for his players. And he seemed to indicate that LSU had the best package as far as that goes, other than Mississippi, and more than Mississippi, more than Florida. What I don't understand, or the hypocrisy, irony, whatever word you choose to use. Here's Governor Landry, Angel, about, 3 weeks ago, talking about how Brian Kelly should not get paid his money, this, that, and the other thing, blah, blah, blah. We don't need to pay a coach that way. And then what do, Governor Landry, you hypocrite? You go out and, you back the side. And I'm not blaming LSU, but you said, speaking up both sides of your mouth, like most politicians do. And you don't back, you tried to get Brian Kelly, tried to sabotage him, and because he couldn't get a job because of all this litigation that was going on, which was all bullshit. He's going to get his money, and he is going to get his money. You do that to him for your own selfish reasons, and then for your more selfish reasons, then you go back, and everything you said was the opposite, the antithesis of what you said 3 weeks ago about Brian Kelly. You go back on you go not even on your word, on your philosophy whatever it is, and you back this whole thing by LSU for signing Lane Kiffin. I mean, it's unbelievable to me that the governor basically becomes president, AD, and for a minute, head coach as well in the state of Louisiana. Absolutely ridiculous, but that's politics for you. Everybody's speaking up both sides of their mouths to benefit themselves. You can't have it both ways, Governor Landry. You can't have Brian Kelly. You can't say what you did about him and then say what you did about Lane Kiffin. Complete opposite. I don't know if you caught Alex Golesh yesterday. Meanwhile, I thought he was very good. I don't know if we have any. I don't know if we have time for any of his highlights, but he was very good. Speaking to the Auburn, all the Auburn fans and the media, got a couple of claps and standing ovations and stuff like that. I thought he was very good. He said everything that everybody wanted to hear. He pronounced everything right. He talked about running the football and being tough and all of that. And I think it's going to end up being a very good hire for the Auburn Tigers. For the life of me, I still do not understand. I don't get it how the Florida Gators did not pursue him. I have not heard anything from him about it, if they indeed did. It seems that John Summerall seemed to be the Gators guy after Lane Kiffin. And I don't understand why you go after another guy from Louisiana. After Billy Napier came from the Raging Cajuns, now you go after the Tulane head coach. Instead of going after that coach at USF, built up an unbelievable program after the team was 1-11 and did an amazing job. Why, if you're the Gators, you do not go after this guy who can obviously recruit in the state of Florida? He could have taken some of those kids with him to the Gators. Instead, they go after Summerall, who's a good coach. I'm not saying he's not a good coach, but I don't know. It would have made a lot more sense. And maybe they did go after him. We don't know it. He just liked the Auburn job better. But anyway, we digress. All right. First guest of the day, and the only guest of the day, Bill Burt from the Eagle Tribune. Billy, just tell me what first. I want to tell me what time you got home. I'm going to say 3:10.
No,
you haven't texted me or anything like that. All right, 2:10.
No, it was after 2, a little after 2. And the traffic was back. People got out of there quick because, thank God, it was a blowout.
Did you see the traffic? I don't know what time you got there. So on the pregame show last night at about 10 of 8, probably 15 minutes before kickoff, the stadium wasn't even half full yet because the traffic on Route 1 was abysmal.
No, it was everywhere. I left Lawrence. I was doing a story, so I left Lawrence at around 3:10, thinking, okay, because I wanted to get out before 3. Sure. The traffic, 128.
Sure,
I just went 495, and that's where my GPS took me.
Okay.
And initially said an hour and 45 minutes. It took 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Oh my God!
So it's
and
like
that was at 3 o'clock. That was at 3 o'clock.
At 3:10 I left.
Oh my! So you don't get to the stadium till after 5.
Right. And
oh my Lord!
My plan was to relax, and I was there 3 hours, still 3 hours early, and I had some stuff I wanted to do for the paper, and it was. Listen. Next year, there's going to be 5 of these, because of who they're going to be. Just like, Kansas City's got 5 8:30 games this year, or 6.
Well, you're used to that because it used to be that way for 20 years. A lot of that's 4 or 5 of those games. So.
Oh, they're brutal. They're because I've basically learned how to not make it 3:30 anymore. I've got it down to 2:30, and you got to budget your time.
Yep.
And I'm out of there early. So, look. It was a blowout. The clock moved a little bit. They got people in and out for interviews, so it was good, and I'm very happy and happy on that sense.
Before we get into the nuts and bolts of the game, the obvious Drake, my unbelievable touchdown pass, but the Christian Ellis hit obviously was.
Two Christian Allen hits, 2 of them, right?
Big hits. But what I am most impressed about, which I think is not going to get talked enough about today, my favorite play in the day was after the hit, after Johnson got the penalty for unsportsmanlike, Ellis didn't retaliate at all. Discipline, backed away.
Yeah.
Not like a wuss, but backed away because thinking, I'm not going to be stupid. I'm not going to let my coach down. We know we're going to get 15 yards. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm not going to do the offsetting thing and try to be a tough guy. He backed away. That is discipline, discipline. I loved it. It was my favorite non-on-the-field play. Well, I guess it was but on the sideline. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that doesn't happen often. There's not a lot of players in the NFL that would have the discipline to back off like that after a guy like Johnson got in his face on a perfectly legal hit, because Jackson Dart is got to be smarter than that. He's got to be
Pete,
smarter than that.
on that frame, I think the play that defines this Patriots team, it's when I started looking at it differently, was when Trevion Stevenson was running and looking over and asking if he should go down. Like that to me, that was special, because it not only made, most guys are running to the end zone and they're not even thinking. And obviously he's talking about that. Hey, we get the clock. We got to stay in bounds. Now he very easily, again, he looked over and that to me it told me not only the situational aspect of coaching, because let's be honest, that was Belichick's bread and butter as well. Among the great things, very situational. From the first day of training camp, he was on situational football. Vrabel too, and exactly, Pete. It's like, no, we remember he called a timeout to remind the guys we can't jump. He's going to they're going to kick a field goal here, which I think that's the one they screwed up. And he again, this is very, very important, because this team is acting like it's been together for 3 years. I keep saying this. It's like Drake May, the thing that surprises me most, and I we'll get on him later, but he's just so calm, and I don't know where it comes from.
Poised.
I don't know where it comes from, because it didn't show. And I'm not saying he didn't have it at North Carolina, but I'm not saying he didn't show signs of it a year ago. But he looks like a guy that's won 3 Super Bowls and he's won nothing. And I mean that respectfully. Yeah. So this is
it's coaching. It's Vrabel. It's Josh McDaniels. It is. It's all about coaching. If anybody in the like Stefanski this week, I thought put Shadur Sanders in a horrible situation. That was he should. I would have fired him after that. I know he's 2-time Coach of the Year. The Cleveland Browns should look at how Vrabel and Josh McDaniel coached that game last night, and everybody should look at all 3 phases of the game and the discipline that the Patriots showed. That's how you coach. That's why they are successful this year in the NFL. That's why. And that's why the Browns are the Browns.
So listen, Pete, the Chicago Bears. Look at coaching. I'm still not a believer in Williams there, but Caleb Williams. But that coach, there's a grit. They're running the football. And I'll be honest with you. My favorite part about you mentioned it earlier. My favorite part about last night, it's a trait we hadn't seen. They sort of bullied the Giants. And it's like I'm not saying they haven't been showing signs of toughness throughout the year, but it's been more about Drake May and decisions and great plays. They came out hitting last night. And that's what I like about the Chicago Bears as well. And so coaching, look, it's very important. Now, it's not going to get you the Super Bowl. The guy's got to make plays. That's why I'm still questioning how far Chicago can go. But look at Seattle. I got to be honest with you. He's done a hell of a job there. Not only the quarterback, but their defense. They hit as well. So that's what we're talking about this time of year. And those are the teams. Look, we can talk about all the Brady years and all the championships. The Patriots hit harder than as hard as anyone else, and they were always a physical team. Even the passing team in 2007, the team that broke all the records. So that's what really a lot of things struck me, Pete. Situationally speaking, they hit harder. I was very impressed. I was very impressed last night.
And I'll tell you that they had a lot of reasons to come out flat. Playing a 2-10 team. They know they got the next week off, 13 days. There are a lot of reasons for them to come out maybe and have a slow start. I mean, I never thought they were going to lose the game before the game. I said, this might be close for a half, and then they pull away, win by 10 or something, because the Giants are playing reasonably well. They got a new defensive coordinator. Jackson Dart is back. I'm a Jackson Dart guy. I like Jackson Dart.
He's Bo Nix in diapers.
And they were so prepared. It was like they were playing for something special last night, and they just beat the crap out of them in all 3 phases of the game.
The New York Giants should have beaten Chicago, Detroit. And Green Bay. And I don't know in what order.
They had them.
Their last 3 games, they should have won all 3 games. they had the ball with 5 minutes to go, I think, in one of them in a 10-point lead and blew it. So listen, Pete, here's what we're talking about. We're all waiting for the bottom to drop out of the Patriots. And guess what? It ain't dropping.
I'm not waiting for anything
No,
like
Pete.
that.
I'm just talking
I
in
know.
general. It's like, okay, they're going to lay an egg. They're due for an egg. I don't know. Maybe I don't know when the egg's coming. This was an egg game. They were supposed to win this by 6 and kick a field goal late and end the game, and it was never a game. Never a game. And they ran the ball a little bit. Look,
Imagine if the offensive line and the defensive line were all reasonably healthy.
Yes,
You
right.
know, they had the starters back. I mean, good Lord.
Look, Garrett Bradbury, congrats to him. He came back. He played a very good game. The whole left side of the line, they're bringing a practice squad guys to back up. It's so, and again, I think this team is not perfect, but there are elements to this team that can make up for these imperfections.
But Darian Lowe played well last night.
Say it again?
Lowe played well last night.
Yeah.
The guy I've hated for 2 years.
Oh, yeah, you've been on him for 2 years, Pete.
Never heard his name once. Patriots are disciplined. I forget how many penalties they had. But they had 1, 2 penalties last night. I mean, nothing.
Yeah, defensive penalties on the nothing, no pre-snap penalties.
No.
No holding, first down, touchdown holding the one.
Hunter Henry touchdown pass was the only one. It's too
Right,
bad.
and that was
put him over 300 yards for the first time if he touched that.
That was illegal shit. Look, listen.
It cost my friend Kurt a prop bet of $150 on a $10 bet because that was called back.
Really? So Pete, if they don't jump to that lead, he throws for 375 yards because they played a conservative second half.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, so it's
football. Yep.
This is like Borgales
about running the ball. Remember, you've been talking about them running the ball. Yeah. Well, when they needed to run the ball to close, Travion Henderson stepped it up. Stevenson to a degree, but Travion Henderson was the man. And when trying to just get a little chunk here, a little chunk there, and it was a perfectly coached. I don't know how you could coach a game any better than that last night.
Look, they were missing 5 key players last night. 5 key players who are all going to be back. So now listen, I'm not going to tell you right now Buffalo's going to be easy. I'm not going to tell you Baltimore's going to be easy. But they are now what I'm getting from the Patriots is they're mentally tough enough to battle those teams and beat them at the end of a game. And I'm not saying they're going to win both of the games because right now I figured out what's going to happen here. The Patriots and Denver are tied. Denver's going to win. It'll be Denver unless Denver loses to Green Bay. I think that's at Green Bay,
which easily
could happen. Probably, I'd probably bet on that one. And Denver's another story. They talk about a tough team. Now, they've gone a different route. Every game they play comes down to the end. And look, Bo Nix, you got to give the guy credit. He reminds me a lot. Jackson Dart reminds me a lot of Bo Nix. Just gritty, tough guys that make plays. And look, Jackson Dart is not there yet, but he's trending in the right direction. But back to Denver. If Denver loses to Green Bay and the Patriots finish tied with Denver, Patriots are going to be the number 1 seed. Number 1 seed is huge. It really is. And you're going to play a 7th, a 6th, or a 5th seed in the opening playoff game, or the 4th seed. You could even play. And then you're playing them everything that the Super Bowl or the AFC Championship going through Foxborough. We have a history here and I'm talking about this region and hosting games like this. And I'm just sensing. So what I got from last night from a team beating the Giants was, okay, this is real. This is like real. They just beat the living daylights out of the team on Monday night. So all the country saw it. The whole country saw it. Look, the whole country. I mean, I know
the poise of Drake May that we've been seeing for weeks. He plays like he's been in the league for 10 years. And like you said, won 3 Super Bowls. I mean, it is unbelievable. And I really you got to look at the coaching. He was put in so many horrible situations by Mayo last year. Horrible situations. And this year,
and he's got a coordinator, Pete. We could sit for a half hour and talk about Jake and Josh. They and they have a bond. It's real. It's not like this coach player thing. He has taken to the young quarterback and you can see it. He's walking. He's like walking on clouds. Josh McDaniels. He knows what he has here, and it's they're different personalities. Brady was a maniac, a flat out maniac. And there's a reason why he was. He had a chip on his shoulder because that's the way it was different. It wasn't like that with Drake May. Drake May had, Nick Saban watching him play hoops in high school. Different situation. But it's like this kid, and it's funny. I talked to Austin Hooper about 3 weeks ago for a story I haven't done totally. He just said
he didn't play last night, did he?
No. My thing with him was. I said, why did you sign here? I was doing a story in Austin. He goes,
he was with the Falcons, right? And
yes, he was with the Falcons.
Well, he was on the Super Bowl Falcon team. We know that. But.
Yeah, no, he's been on another team since.
Yeah,
but
I'm sorry.
It'll hit me. But he said, I said, why did you sign here? You had a good year last year as a number 2. You might have been, you could have probably gotten more money. He said, and he signed a 1-year deal. And he said, the quarterback. And I go, okay. So I got what he was saying. I go, all right, what do you mean the quarterback? He said he's different. And this is last year. The guy that won 1 game. He said he processes information the way it's not normal, the way he processes information. So, I got a guy telling me he came back to this team on a 1-year deal to be with this quarterback. Very interesting. And this is, Pete, like I said, last year, we saw signs of greatness. We didn't, but we weren't. It was no guarantee. I predicted 8 wins this year, and I would have been happy with 8 wins, thinking where this team was a year ago. And of course, that's over. Now it's Super Bowl or bust, basically.
Is that fair though? Is that fair? And I know that
I'm not saying a failed season.
I'm not saying you, but I'm saying there's a lot of fans. I think right now, spoiled or not. Here we go. I mean, if it's like if they don't get to the Super Bowl, it's not a good season.
No, they're going to win but Pete, they're going to win a playoff game or 2.
Look, I think they could get there. I mean, if God forbid, say they get the bye, but then if they lost at home in the first round in like a tough 28-27 game, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh my God, woulda, coulda, shoulda. I mean, because most people, I had them at 9 wins. That was like so they've exceeded obviously everybody's expectations.
Yeah.
Even the most optimist of optimists. The only guy who said, I forget who it was in the national media, said they're going to win 12. That was before the season started, and we all thought he was nuts. And I can't remember who it was. It was somebody, not nuts. It wasn't like a Skip Bayless idiot or somebody like that. It was somebody that was actually somewhat intelligent, if I can remember, from the NFL Network or ESPN. And that's limiting to not very many people. But anyway, somebody did predict them to win 12. Right now, they're plus 1,000 to win the Super Bowl. So $100 will win you back 1,000.
Yeah, that's not bad. But Pete, the other thing, you got to look at their free agent signings. They hit on all of them.
Brilliant.
I mean, it's been
brilliant.
They have hit on all of them, and that's rare. It's not only like the draft, because we'll look at Belichick's he had that big signing in 2021, and Hunter Henry,
he was executive of the year. People forget that he was executive of the year 4 years ago.
Yeah. Right.
People forget that.
And that was the first time he ever spent money. And this spending was judicious. It wasn't out of control. Mm-hmm. They argued, it was argued they overpaid Milt Williams. No, they didn't. No.
I don't know who argued that. Whoever argued that doesn't understand the game. I can't believe Philadelphia let him go.
Well, the experts had said, Milt Williams wasn't an every down player. He was coming in and out of the lineup. They had a very good defensive line, one of the best. They had the best defensive line in the NFL. Yeah. And people said he wasn't the best one. Well, guess what? He was. And he's a disruptor. And he takes double teams. And he allows linebackers to make plays, which is really what your D line needs to do. And so, look, that free agency set up what's happening now at several layers. So they got a cornerback, they got a pass rusher, they got a safety, they got a wide receiver.
We got everything.
Listen, they got a really good wide receiver they haven't really had to call on lately. Stephon Diggs, and I think that's good that he's been quiet. And guess what? He's been quiet on the field. right off the field.
Nobody cares who gets the ball. This is what we went through for many, many years in the past. Nobody ever complained.
Right.
Maybe one or two but nobody is complaining on this team about who's getting the ball, when they're getting the ball. It doesn't matter whether it's Diggs, Booty, Williams. It just doesn't matter.
Listen, this is big deal because
it doesn't matter.
Pete, this is a big deal. What I'm seeing out of Diggs so far, and because again, couple of games, 2 or 3 catches. He was two last week, 3 yesterday.
Yep.
And 2 first downs wasn't really a factor.
8 different receivers yesterday caught
passes. And that's when Brady was at his best.
Yep.
Who's his favorite receiver? The open receiver. And guess what? They were open yesterday. Look, Drake May though made a cut. Not only in the basket. We're hearing that a lot with Drake May. He throws it in the basket. But there was that big first down inside the 20-yard line to Hunter Henry. Huge.
Yeah.
And Hunter boxed out the safety, and it was a perfect throw. But he had to fight off the safety's left hand, and he did. It's like I just keep forgetting about you're waiting for the shoe to drop. It's like make somebody not make a play, and everyone's just making plays.
I think we talk about this almost every single week, and I am telling you, the blessing in disguise moment for this team came against the Steelers. That was a wake-up call. Again, I will go back to it, and I would love to be able to talk to Mike Vrabel because I'm going to say, you turned the ball over 5 times in that game. If I had just seen that stat, I would say the Patriots got blown out by 50, against the Steelers.
Right.
But they were in it to the last 24 seconds with 5 turnovers and a chance to win it before another turnover cost them the game. And I was like, man, if they can just clean a couple of these situations up, that's going to be a really good football team. And they did.
Dominated.
I bet you Mike Vrabel is going to, at one point, go back to that game and say that was a turning point in our season.
Yeah.
We said we cannot continue to be this undisciplined. We got to take care of the football, and we can beat anybody. And after that game, they've been awesome.
No, they've been perfect.
Awesome.
They've been perfect since then.
10 perfect.
It's 10 in a row,
baby. Bo Derek.
That's not a bad. Honestly, that's not bad because that's how they've looked. They've looked near perfect here, and when I say near perfect, I'm talking about, like I said, it's all 3 phases. I mean,
Bo running down the beach, braided hair, and the yellow onesie. As Dudley Moore sitting there on the beach.
Dudley Moore, what a legend.
Oh my God, that was such a great, underrated movie.
Speaking of little guys. Marcus Jones, talk about, his role just every week. Now, it's been happening now every week. And I love, he does not take, he's very judicious with fair catches. So it's like he knows ahead of time and he'll take the risk. All he does is if he gets by that first guy and he goes 5 to 6, it was, Julian Edelman said it. The first move is straightforward, 10 yards. Then all hell breaks loose. And he's doing it. And
he almost had a second one. I thought he was going to get a second one.
Listen, I've always said I think the guy should be playing offense. I think he's like a Tyreek Hill. He's like a poor man's version of Tyreek Hill.
Where would you want to play him, in a running back or
no? As a wide, as a little wide out.
A little wide out, like an Edelman type. All right.
Remember they put him.
I thought Chisholm was going to be in that role, but he's nowhere to be found.
Remember, it was 3 years ago. He played like 4 offensive plays. He scored 3 times.
That's right.
That's right. He's talk about a winner. He signed his own contract. He's here for 3 more years. This is like talk about one of the great signings of Elliott Wolf. It was signing him before the season. I don't even know if he had an agent. But it's not one player, but it's one player who has started this. Drake May, everyone sort of understands this kid's special. He can lead us somewhere, and it has elevated everyone else. I'll go back to Christian Ellis, that hit on the sidelines, and Mike Vrabel said that hit woke up the whole stadium. It did. The whole stadium. It was electric.
Best hit of the year. I think it's the best hit of the year in the NFL.
Excuse me?
I think it's the best hit of the year in the NFL. I'm not just saying that.
Yeah,
that was a it was legal. Jackson Dart knew it was, and again, the best part of that to me was him backing off and not retaliating after.
Right, and that's, I'm telling you, that's what they've been doing all year. They just have. It's funny, Pete. We haven't said at all that was stupid. That was stupid. We can say a bad play. We can say a drop. There isn't a lot of that this year. And again, that's why I'm not waiting for anything to drop anymore. I'm waiting. All right, when I say shoe to drop, I'm expecting the Patriots. Look at the Rams. Did what everyone's done this year. All the good teams have done. They laid an egg, and they did it against a team who, look, let's be honest,
against the team that the Patriots clobbered.
Right. Well, yeah, but they've turned it around.
I don't get caught up in that kind of stuff,
Carolina looks pretty good though lately. But my point is, they laid an egg, and now they just blew the first seed for now. And I just wouldn't count Chicago out. I'm not saying I don't think they're a great team per se, but the Patriots were due for that Ram game. And you know what? You can say the same with Denver, though Denver seems to play on a tightrope every damn week.
Well, again, that 2-point conversion, he was wide open at the end. Credit what's his name for making that block at the 2-point conversion the other night.
Of course, Mariota. He's not. He had a best game of probably he's played in 5 years, and all he had to do was toss it over those hands. But he's not used to play. He doesn't play a lot. He's not used to winning. He doesn't win in this league. So what happened. So the Patriots are. Would I be shocked if they're 15-2? No, I don't think they're going to be 15-2 because I think 14-3. I even think 13-4 is going to win the.
The worst part is if they don't need that game against Miami at the end of the season and rest everybody because they've already clinched the number one spot. Don't discount that either. And I'd hate to see Miami come up here and get some cheap win, even though they've been playing for them. Playing better for them. They won 4 of the last 5. They still have Charlie Brown as a head coach, and they're not going anywhere.
The only thing with that, Pete, is you don't want 2 bye weeks. So basically, Miami's a bye week, then you get the bye week. Then
they play a quarter then. If they have clinched before that game, which they might, they may not. Part of me hopes that they haven't, that they need to win that game to clinch the number 1 seed.
Yeah.
I want to see them pound Miami into oblivion.
So I think that's going to happen. I don't. Denver's not going away. Denver may lose 1 or 2 games. Patriots.
They're at the Raiders this week. Is there any chance in holy hell that the Raiders can even?
No, zero.
It should. We think it should be 0. But it is a rivalry. I don't know.
Think about it. The Patriots. The only game the Patriots were dominated was against the Raiders. And look, they made mistakes.
I can't believe it. I went back and watched that. I couldn't fake. I actually the other night I watched the first half again of that game because I have them all taped. And
I'm going to do that. I didn't do that.
I couldn't believe I was. If you took the team is completely a 180 from that game. I mean, I don't know, opening day jitters, whatever. The kicker, once again, Young-Ho Koo, who in our lifetime, he has made some of the most remarkable kicks. Not many, but when he has, he's made some remarkable ones. Yeah. Mostly known for missing chip shots, extra points,
and the
football, and now that was like me. With my wedge with about 50 yards to go, and I do peekaboo, and I hit 2 feet in front of the ball. The ball goes 2 feet. He didn't even hit the ball. First of all, I can't believe he didn't dislocate his knee. And even Troy Aikman, all me and my buddies that were watching the game last night, 6 of us going, I have never ever seen that before in my life, ever.
He literally hit a foot behind the ball, and I don't. That was weird. It's
weird. It's never happened.
Yeah, and then he said the ball was moving. Whether the ball was moving or not, you just kick and you kick it where it is.
The holder. Jamie, I thought it was a fake. Didn't you think it was? I know.
Yes.
I was in the press, but I'm going, oh, it's a fake. I'm like, oh, they got nothing to lose. And then he's like, oh, nope. And it ends up being
the holder just sat there with the ball and got killed.
Jamie Gillen sat there like, what? No. That was amazing.
Look, you could go.
That was right up there with butt fumble in a lot of ways. That was like butt fumble 2.0, except on a kick.
And that was a nationally televised game as well.
Yes, it was. Thanksgiving night.
Look, we haven't talked a lot about Christian Gonzalez this year. Another very good game.
Yes, no doubt
Carlton
about it.
Davis, guess what?
He was
Another very good game.
outstanding. Yes, outstanding.
And so, Hawkins now, he's a player. Talk about a guy who was stolen. This guy has, and he showed signs of it this year. He got beat. He had a bad game against the Raiders, and he had a bad game against the Steelers. But since then, he's sort of been one of their very good players on defense. And again, that's how you do this. You don't do it with one guy. One guy leads the way. Other guys step up, and 3 phases. All 3 phases helped out. Borregales missed 1 field goal. He pulled that one.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it.
And it didn't matter though. The game was over.
I know, but
The game was over by then. Because
the only thing that was, obviously Mike Vrabel's going to see a lot more coachable things than I am. Singletary's rushing touchdown was the only thing that was a little bothersome, but the game was 30-7 or whatever it was.
Yeah, that was a trick play. That was
he ran through everybody. It was kind of like I didn't want him to score, but anyway.
No, that was no issue. That was a trick play. The Patriot Singletary, got to give him credit, but he looked bruised after the game. I saw walking in the locker room. He looked like he was hurt, and they hit him. Again, I don't know. I'm looking at 7 or 8 really sort of key characteristics of the game last night, and the way they hit, they came to play, Pete. They treated that. You mentioned this. They treated it like a playoff game last night, and that's impressive because they have a week off. They have 13 days off. There was very good reason to go into this with the leaky 16-13 win, and no, they didn't. They scored 30. I expected a Thursday night-ish game, and we got a playoff game out of the Patriots.
Billy, you're the best. So what are you gonna do with yourself the next? Anything else happening?
I may come down to Florida, Pete, for a few days.
Where? Down Fort Myers?
I might do some East Coast stuff, so we'll see. I may go to the West Coast as well. If I do, I will let you know. It would be for a day or two. I have 2 brothers. One's a tennis pro at Trump National. Another's a golf pro down there in Boca.
You're going to get free golf. That's what you're telling me.
Well, no. I guess some potential work to do as well. And then look, I'm getting ready for the Buffalo game, and I'm going to go to Baltimore. I think for the Patriots, Baltimore. That game, that's the intriguing one. I want to see.
They're going to get flexed. There's got to be something. There's no way. At least a 425. The Buffalo game's got to be 425. They're going to move that game.
But they have to do it soon, I think, right?
At least 425.
Yeah, I would say both games should be 425.
They can't be on Sunday night again against Buffalo because they already played them on Sunday night.
Yeah, they're not moved. They only can be moved to 425. Yeah. Look, as someone that works, the 1 o'clock games are great. I love them. Absolutely love them. I'm home for the 8 o'clock game, 8:15 game, or 8:20 game on a Sunday. But this is exciting, Pete. I didn't expect this. And it's real, and what they are is real. This NFL is a step down at the top. It's not as good as it was. The Rams, I believed, were special. Were the special team. You know what? They're good. They still are good. And I know they. You give every team give them that one chip where all right, you got your one. Yeah. I wouldn't bet against the Patriots the rest of the way in any game. So.
Billy, I don't care. Your stuff on the Eagle Tribune, I'll retweet some of it, whatever. How many? I can't imagine. Now, will you be down at Gillette this week at all?
So I'm going to figure it out today or tomorrow because he's going to, I think, let the players go for 3 or 4 days, and then they'll come back, the following Monday.
Will Williams be back in time for the Buffalo game?
No, he'll be back for the Jet. No, he's not going to be back for a while. Looks like he's going to be out at least until the Jet game. So he's not going to be back for either Baltimore or Buffalo.
Okay. Billy, you're the man. Thanks so much. Check out Bill Burt at the Eagle Tribune. And Mac's doing okay in Puerto Rico?
So he's leaving. He signed a 1-month deal. He's going to come back. Christian for the Red Sox. Christian Campbell got called. So they get too many infielders. But he knew going down. He was just going to get on for a month. So he's going back to Minneapolis, which is where his fiance is. He's getting married a year from now in December. That's when baseball players get married, December.
Yep.
So I may go out there. I don't want go. I'd rather go to Florida than Minnesota, so we'll figure that one out. But he is coming home for Christmas. We come back to North Andover, so looking forward to that.
Awesome.
All right.
Well, thanks, Billy, for everything.
Great stuff, Pete.
Great stuff as always. Hope you had a happy Thanksgiving with you and your family and everything else. And we'll talk next week. 13 days until the next, or 12 days until the next Patriots game. But
Can't wait.
We'll talk soon. Thank you, my man.
Bye-bye.
Thanks a lot. All right, Angel Martinez, how are you doing today? What do you got going on today? Anything just rest and relaxation? What?
Yeah. Boy, did I wish those words would be coming out flowingly out of my mouth. But a little bit of rest, taking care of Debbie. She's feeling a little bit under the weather, so I got to make sure I take care of my, my producer because that's very important. But other than that, still working on some things, trying to figure out why the server wouldn't connect over to the radio station. So for those who are listening this morning, unfortunately, you weren't hearing the live show, but it's okay because it'll be, I'm pretty sure, resolved by tomorrow. But just
before we go, a couple of things I want to play. If you're going to have to refresh on my Twitter, it should be right under the show. With the college football playoff and the Hippocratic Oath Committee led by Hunter Yurachek, the AD from Arkansas. We'll try to spew some stuff tonight. If they do the right thing, Miami should be up to 10. They should be ahead of Notre Dame, but they probably won't. And it's under the Pat McAfee. The College Football Playoff Selection Committee cannot leave Ole Miss out. This is from yesterday. Let's hear from Pat on this. And this is going to be interesting to see where or if they even drop Ole Miss.
Hey, I don't like it. Kirk, I don't think any of us like it. And it was kind of the reason why you were talking the way you were talking on Saturday about Lane being able to coach his team. And obviously there was people that got very upset with you saying that, like, hey, the reality is that's just not going to work out for any party, yada, yada, yada. But I think what you were thinking of is if Lane's not there and his other coaches that are going with him aren't there, what is this team going to look like as opposed to what they worked for all year? That is the world you were living in, right? Is that not?
I was looking at it from a player's perspective and a unprecedented season in the history of 122 years of Ole Miss football. I wanted them, and whether it's Lane, if Lane has to go, Keith Carter said he's got to go. Okay, I mean, that's his decision. That's fine. Can Charlie Weiss Jr. stay? Can Joe Cox stay? I mean, you imagine Ole Miss preparing. You got Joe Judge is one of the few offensive coaches that's still in Oxford, and everybody else is in Baton Rouge. So this chaos, and I'm not saying it's Ole Miss's fault. We talk about the calendar. Ole Miss had to make a decision, and I respect that their AD basically said, listen, you're either with us or you're against us. If you're out, goodbye. But it really puts this Ole Miss team that's enjoying a season that we've never seen. I would just love to have seen, kind of like what Tulane's doing. John Summerall's going to Florida. He's coaching in the conference championship game of the American. If they win, he's coaching in the playoff.
I'm stunned.
I think, maybe they decided it was a different set of circumstances going from Tulane to Florida. I get that. But I just thought maybe if they went around to the players, especially the leadership council, and said, hey, guys, this sucks. I mean, it is what it is. Do you guys want Lane and all these coaches to stick around? Do you want to do it without him? And I don't know if they did that or not, but if they did and the leadership council said, to hell with him, get him out here, I'd be like, okay, that players made that decision. Let's go with it. But I don't know if that happened. I have no idea. I just know Ole Miss made that decision, and I'm not like jumping up and down saying how dare they. I wish for their sake they could have stayed intact, made a hell of a run. Maybe they'll circle the wagons and play with a pissed off attitude, that Lane left. I'm sure, like it.
Yeah, it could be an actual move that galvanizes a team. Going to be really, really interesting tonight. I think it's 7:00 on ESPN where we will find out. Well, I know they're having today's the ACC, SEC stuff going on, and the Jimmy V Foundation and all that wonderful speech that he made before he passed away many years ago. Never give up. Anyway, all right, before, let's see, one more thing I want to play from here, Angel. This is Roddy Jones and Wes Durham discussing the, quote, doomsday scenario that faces the ACC now that Duke has made the title game. And Roddy Jones has not been, he's been a little more logical about it recently, but anyway, this is from ACC Sirius XM Radio.
is likely going to fight the doomsday scenario narrative, or try to, but it's real. And we can throw out strength of schedule. We can throw out strength of record with Duke, although Duke's strength of record is not better than the teams that it's being considered against. Its strength of schedule is. And so there is a realistic possibility that if Duke wins this game, which I thought they were going to win the first time, but again, as you mentioned, Wes, we saw this game 3 weeks ago and Virginia was up 31-3. So we're in for a riveting game if history repeats itself. But nonetheless, it's where we are. It's not Duke's fault that they are in the ACC championship game. No. This is lack of foresight by the entire league, because there was a league who figured this out. There was a league who said, you know what? We're going to simplify our tiebreakers and make sure that in case something happens, we will err on the side of protecting the league. And it was the American. Because do you know what the American's second tiebreaker is?
Highest rated college football playoff team.
Absolutely correct. Head-to-head, and then its highest rated team in the college football playoff from the week prior to championship week.
Yep.
That is in their bylaws. The highest ranked team in the CFP from the week prior, if you do not lose the last week of the year, you win the tiebreaker.
Right.
The ACC needs to institute that yesterday, because if they had, Miami would be in and not Duke.
Wish they did. I wish they did. A couple more things I'll play from here. Let me see how this volume is. Here's Christian Ellis getting back to the Patriots about his hit on Jackson Dart last night.
Christian, Mike was talking a little bit before about, wanting his quarterback.
Actually, Angel, we can play. Can you refresh? And I just retweeted it, if you don't mind. Just a couple more videos I want to play, and then we'll get out of here. It's right under the show. That one right there. Start with that one. That's Christian Ellis talking about his hit on Jackson Dart. Dart!
Christian, Mike was talking a little bit before about, wanting his quarterbacks to not be careful dancing along the line there, and when you go out of bounds, go out of bounds. Take us through that play. Christian was just saying it sparked a lot of energy and passion from you guys. You got a personal foul from them. What was your thinking going into that, and take us through that hit?
During the play, I saw the scramble, started chasing him down. He started tiptoeing on the sideline, and I thought he was just going to go out of bounds, but then I saw him tiptoeing. So I was like, stay in bounds. What am I supposed to do? We play hard on defense. We try to bring life to this team. So that's all I was trying to do, is just do my job and hit anything in the whites.
Christian, Mike was talking.
All right, there you go. Dan Roach from WBZ Channel 4. I know that voice very well. Great guy. Asking another question. And then lastly, right under the show, here's our man, Emmanuel Acho, talking about Drake May is the front runner now for the, for MVP.
Yo, Drake May is officially taking over Matthew Stafford for #1 in the MVP spot, and these Patriots look good. Patriots got the best record in football. Drake May led them to another win, and right now, between Drake May and Mike Vrabel, I trust the Patriots to go as far as they want to go. It's the Patriots, it's the Broncos as far as AFC contenders, but as far as MVP race, it's Drake May at the #1 spot, then Stafford, then we can talk about everybody else. We live in the speakeasy right now. Don't wow me.
Wait, what about the running back? Yeah, Jonathan Taylor, he's done, is it? One bad week from Stafford, and we throwing him out?
Y'all tap into the link. Yo.
All right, quickly, Angel, let me just do a quick NBA, NHL rundown, if you don't mind. Orlando beat Chicago last night, 125 to 120.
It's not even like a natural shot for him, but when you get somebody like that, you almost have to shoot it.
And would you agree? Hickpot is behind the back, but Zeller Phillips with the flush.
Gee, and dunk in the NBA. Yay. Orlando wins their 6th straight at home, 125 to 100. Detroit over Atlanta, 99 to 98. How about this at the buzzer?
4-second difference between those two clocks up there. So what will Atlanta do?
Pistons by 2. Cade to the basket. Reverses. He hits it.
That bucket.
8 in the 4th for Cade.
That bucket.
They went up by 4 there with 17 seconds left. Thanks to credit FanDuel Sports Network there. The Detroit wins 99-98. Cleveland over Indiana easily 135-119. Washington over Milwaukee 129-126. Brooklyn got by Charlotte 116-103. Miami clobbered the Clippers. The Miami Heat are playing some damn good basketball.
13 points for Wiggins. 20-point lead for the Heat. And a block by Bam. The block party continues. 8th block of the game. Kaboom! Norman Powell. Oh, power to Powell.
Kaboom, Angel. Kaboom. Thanks to FanDuel Sports Network for that. Dallas over Denver 131-121. How about Cooper Flagg doing it again? Man, is he having a great season.
And he hit the floor hard, too. Now Nembhard throws it up ahead. Coop! The alley-oop. Wow, what a finish. And an equally good finish. Coop with the alley-oop.
Yeah. Dallas wins 131-121. Utah over Houston 133-125. And Phoenix beat the Lakers into their, I believe, their 7-game winning streak. And, of course, that cut isn't found. Okay. All right. To Major League Baseball, the Mets signed Williams, blah, blah, blah. He sucked for the Yankees last year. Now he can go suck for the Mets. NHL yesterday, Columbus and New Jersey.
Cody Glass takes the body contact. Zach Werenski comes up with the puck and will shuffle it over to Sillinger. Sillinger, a feed, batted down by Monahan to the net, and he scores! An incredible play!
Hey, 5-3, thanks to the FanDuel Sports Network there. Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. What the hell happened to the Flyers last night?
And they did score. It was Ben Kindle against Toronto on Saturday. Carlson arrests right in the slot. Crosby scores! Tic-tac-toe, and the Penguins on a power play goal take the lead back. The captain has 2.
Imagine Sidney Crosby scoring on a power play. Imagine that, Angel.
Yeah.
Oh, the humanity of the Flyers. How do you let that happen? I've never seen Sidney Crosby score on a power play.
Yeah.
Said no one ever. Buffalo over Winnipeg, 5-1. Anaheim got by St. Louis by a score of 4-1. And San Jose been playing a lot better lately. They poured it on Utah pretty good last night.
Showing his defensive prowess. Here's to Foley. He's got 2 tonight. Tyler over to Will Smith. Shoots. Scores! They're on fire! Will Smith with his 2nd of the game. Tyler Toffoli just draws his man over enough, and then as Sergachev. Jersey's back checking, does a nice job. Sergachev just got to come over, and he overplays a little bit, but it's only because that Will Smith has got that ability to cut so tightly and come right across. Great agility. Nice job by Tyler Toffoli. You start that all off, and then that little move and that fantastic release. Man, that kid can...
All right. San Jose, by the way, playing a lot better lately. They're 5-5 in the last 10, but they still are a -7, by the way. If you look in the Eastern Conference right now in hockey, Tampa Bay on top with 34 points, tied with Carolina, but Tampa Bay holds the tiebreaker, followed by New Jersey and the Washington Capitals. There's your top 4 in the conference. Then the Penguins and the Flyers have 31 points, 1 point ahead of the Boston Bruins, who would still be in the playoffs. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, Bruins and Montreal would be the last 2 teams if the playoffs started today. But it's all bunched up. They're all within 3 points of each other, so it's crazy. All right, Angel. Anything coming up on the network later today? It is a Tuesday.
It is a Tuesday, and you will have Duncan Dad later on with Ain't That Right? That'll be at 1 p.m. And then at 11 o'clock this morning, 10 East, will be K4 Wins with Tony, Kai, Kip, and Case as they get into some college talk, college betting, and NFL betting as well.
Awesome. Tomorrow, Bill Sparrows will be joining us for the weekly visit at 8:05. At 9 o'clock, Mia O'Brien, the lovely and talented, my favorite Italian-Irish girl, from ESPN Radio will join us at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning via video right here on the Pete Sheppard Show. You don't want to miss that. She's always awesome and fun. We'll talk about not only the Jaguars, her reaction to college football playoff last night, and also the fact that John Summerall will be the head coach of the Florida Gators. We'll get into all of that tomorrow at 7 in the a.m. Thanks to Bill Burke. Thanks to Angel Martinez. I am Pete. Back tomorrow at 7 in the a.m. Have a terrific Tuesday, everybody. See ya.